Guys, welcome back. Drip and Farm for Pop. I'm your host, Drip Coach, and let's jump right into it. So this is an update that I believe the Triple D timer is up, but it's not visible for everybody as of this video, which is Sunday afternoon, my time, 4 p.m. So maybe they'll have it fixed, but I'm seeing in my chats people showing the countdown timer, and they're saying that it's available for people with Trust Wallet. So ironically, Trust Wallet is the one performing and showing that Triple D is available, because there was a couple people that showed it here as the countdown timer was there. So when I go to Triple D DApp, it's not there for me, but that's not what this video is going to be about. I believe the timer's there, just maybe something's not working on some other ends or whatever. This is actually going to be not a strategy video, but an overview video. Because man, oh man, is there a lot of mechanics in Triple D, and I'm not even gonna go into strategy yet, because I think we all need a refresher on exactly how it works. Because shout out to Ricky, I believe is the guy's name, that made this. Man, this is a very, very detailed, well documented wiki, and there's a lot to go through. I'm not going to go through all of it in detail in this one, but we're going to instead focus on is the flow, which is this piece down here, and then breaking it down in a spreadsheet so you can understand it. So this diagram is very, very informative. This is pretty much all you would need, but even still, it might be complicated for you to figure out how things are going, because you can look at the options of how to get in with Triple D, what to play with, how many tickets you'll get, and then how the money and drip is being moved around in the system. So instead of me trying to break down all those other mechanics, I'm going to instead highlight a couple things that I mentioned on here that make drip super bullish, and then we're going to show it in a spreadsheet so that you can actually see some numbers moving around, because that's the best way to figure this kind of stuff out. You need to actually start clicking on stuff. So one thing to note is this highlight here, that a 10% tax is charged only once at entry, which is then allocated to drip tax vault, while all other drip movements are whitelisted. So remember, that was one of the key features that since Forex got integrated with this, he's able to whitelist any address, right? So that means that instead of when you're sending drip, normally every time it moves from one place to another, the 10% tax. But since Forex can whitelist addresses, when you're getting drip here and it's moving from your wallet to the sacrifice contract, and then to the vault, and then somewhere else, and then to be airdrop, that would normally incur a transaction tax every single time it moves. But now it's only being taxed up here at the top, either if you're using drip initially to come in, or if you're buying with fresh capital. So there's only that 1% tax, 10% tax initially, and then as it moves around the ecosystem, it's not taxed. So that's what you're going to see in my spreadsheet, because that's important to note, that you are still, paying the piper, so to speak. And that's what keeps drip, the well-oiled machine, moving forward. And this is also important. I haven't heard this brought up. The minimal threshold for applying the 10% multiplier is 10 tickets. So if you're going to be using fresh capital, you have to have at least, essentially what it's saying is $10 to get in. Kind of the same thing you see now with getting into drip. It requires 10 drip to create a new account. But since drip is now always pegged to $1 USD dollar equivalent, you can basically say it's going to always be $10 if you want the multiplier. You can get in with less, but you won't get the multiplier unless you have at least 10. So that's important. And this is also important to realize that when you sacrifice, you are indeed giving up your drip for the chance to get more tickets. So that all that drip is going to the tax vault, versus how it normally, some of it would actually go to your faucet. Right? So that's important to note. Whenever you're playing with fresh capital, or basically making a deposit and not sacrificing, you do get 75% of that. So that's important to note. But when you sacrifice, be it drip or fresh capital, all of that is going to the tax vault. You don't get any of it. So let's take a look at what this looks like with some values here, because it's much, much, much simpler to show it here. So let's zoom out a little bit. That's a little too aggressive. All right. So in this column, we have $100 of BUSD value. So if you were to get in with that $100 and you use it as fresh, you're going to end up sending 10 drip to the tax vault because of that $1. Actually, I take that back. It would be the price of drip at that price. So let me adjust that. I was about to change that, but no, that is right, because you're buying tickets, not drip. So take that back. So this is correct. So with that $100, you're going to end up sending, it'd be basically $10, but I'm saying 10 drip to the tax vault because there's that 10% tax. So I'm assuming out of that, you would actually be buying drip with, yeah, so I guess it's always $1. I gotta refigure that out. I'm not sure, because the drip price goes up and it's still pegged to $1. So yeah, it's gonna always be 10. It's always pegged to 1. Okay, so that's right. So you're gonna end up with 99 tickets, because what happens after that, you get a 10% bonus, and then only 75% that's deposited into your vault, and the other 25 is moving around the system. Now, if you were to come in with drip, let's say you had 100 drip, well, you're still gonna get taxed, and then the number of tickets you're actually gonna get from that value, because drip is at 21 cents, it's going to be roughly 18, and then deposited again, it's only going to be 13 of those drip. So you're entering with drip and you're losing. So in this scenario, it's better to use drip either as a sacrifice or when drip is, say, $2. So now that you're entering with 100 drip, you get twice as many entries. So you could essentially have a better play by using drip without selling it or without sacrificing it, and just kind of cycling back into the system. So when it's below $1, you don't want to do that. If it's above $1, it's definitely something to think about. Now, of course, the most bullish way to play this game is to get more tickets. So that's where the sacrifice bonuses come into play. So if you have a lot of liquid drip, and that's what we see right now in people's wallets is liquid drip. So one of the plays you could do is basically taking that 100 liquid drip and sacrificing it. And even at 21 cents, you're going to get basically 53 tickets if you had 100 drip at this price. And if you were to sacrifice with fresh capital, now remember, you don't get any of these tickets deposited into your faucet, but if you sacrifice with fresh capital, you get 248. So just to show what some of this looks like, so some people that have, like, say, 500 drip in their wallet, if they were to sacrifice, they'd end up with just over half the tickets with drip. And if they did that equivalent for a sacrifice of BUSD, they would have a lot more tickets. They end up with 1,200 tickets if they were to sacrifice that in BUSD. So it can make a huge difference when you're able to sacrifice. And like I said, the game changes dramatically when the price of drip increases. So let's say drip is 50 cents. Well, now you're able to get 225 tickets if you were to use 500 drip as your entry, not sacrificing. But if you were to sacrifice those 500 tickets, you get 125 extra tickets into drip, but none of that gets deposited into your faucet. So there's really a lot of game theory that goes along here. I hope I made this clear and didn't confuse anybody, but it's better to kind of play with the numbers yourself and see how things work. But the TLDR is that sacrificing is going to become a huge incentive for people to win. And what I didn't go into is the jackpot payouts. So seeing how you can get these basically max wallets once there's a significant amount of drip, or USD value being circulated and drip being circulated in the different rounds, then there comes a point in time where it becomes extremely attractive to at least enter in with something, because yeah, you're gambling, but as Raoul Powell says, the upside is much bigger than the downside. So it's like, yeah, you may enter with $5 a day, $5 a week. Let's just go with that. So it's like one time, Monday through Friday, and you're willing to throw away $20 a month on scratch tickets, essentially gambling, lottery tickets, whatever you want to call this, raffle tickets, because the upside is way more massive. And even over the course of the year, that's just $250. So you could easily win one of those times. You win a biggest runner-up prize, something like that. And by the end of the year, drip is $1. So now you sacrifice $250, but you just gained $8,000. So it's definitely worth it, especially as the price of drip appreciates. And I've showed you guys before how that is just tied to supply and demand on the circulating supply in the native DEX. And that's, again, what's important about this, because in order for you to play, this is all coming off of, where to go? Can't ever find that. It's always the second page and I forget. It's all coming off the native DEX. So when you come in with BNB and BUSD, you see right here, doesn't matter what you come in with. If it's BUSD, it gets swapped to BNB and you're buying off the native DEX. So that means the native DEX price will be increasing because it's incentivizing fresh capital as well as incentivizing locking up drip in the tax vault, which means there will be the arbitrage opportunity on PancakeSwap, which means, I keep saying that you will have the total price of drip to go up across both DEXs because people will be arbitraging on PancakeSwap and then coming back over here and taking that arbitrage difference to sell into the BNB pool here and maybe even play in the drip with it, or just take their profits in that arbitrage, which is fine because still that buy tax on drip on PancakeSwap as well as the sell tax here on the native DEX, that adds 20% transaction round, 20% tax round trip that still feeds our tax vault. So the more this can pump on the native DEX, the better, because it creates the incentive for the day traders and the flippers and all the other people that are now speculating on drip to actually buy into that and sell it into this pump, as well as people to buy it off the native DEX and sell into this pump. So it's actually a very good thing and creates sustainability as well as kind of a utility. It does turn drip into a speculative trading asset if you have this volume being created on the native DEX all the time. So I'll go into the jackpot payouts and how that works in another video. I tried to keep this one short, but it was still longer than I expected. But the best thing to do, create a spreadsheet and just start playing with it, or wait until Tuesday and throw some money in, or just watch how the rounds go, or check other people's videos if I did not break it down clear. And of course, leave me some questions in the comments and I'll try to address that. All right, that's all I got. Smash that HBO special, help brother out, like, subscribe, comment down below, and until next time, lift daily and achieve your impossible. See ya.
Want to pay your in real life bills with crypto? How about send crypto directly to anyone with a bank account? Spritz Finance is a decentralized solution to be your own bank and connect your crypto earnings to real world bills and payments. They do not take custody of your assets and allow support on multiple blockchains and Web3 wallets. Sign up below using my referral link and you will get $50 back when you make your first $50 bill payment with crypto. Additionally, I will be using referral bonuses to airdrop, donate, or burn based on community feedback. Sign up now.